Wicked or weakness, you gotta see this. Yeah. Hey, I remember.
Hi, this is Paul Warren.
And this is Ryan Klein.
And this is another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies.
Is this a lie itself because it's maybe not exactly an episode
I think
like the ordinary ones?
We're also almost dead.
Paul, I'm dead.
I'm pretty dead.
I'm burnt out as
I don't
crap.
even want to talk about SEO. So if you're listening, sorry, psych, gotcha. This isn't going to be about SEO this episode.
Yeah, we decided to have this episode. Like, hey, buddy, man, I barely want to do this. It's about 8 o'clock on a Thursday.
Tired.
I've been working.
Tired of shit.
I don't even want to know.
I don't know.
Since somewhere else, I don't know.
So we're just going to enjoy ourselves with this conversation and see where it goes.
Yeah, we decided every 15th episode is going to be a blabber like this one.
Ooh, 15 episodes!
So let's prep this whole thing. I don't want to get anyone's hopes up. But we're going to be intermittently talking about SEO, but we're going to probably be talking about other stuff. So if you want something strictly that has like a focus, this is probably not the right podcast. So I'd say go to 1 and 14.
No, continue to listen to this.
You can listen. It might be interesting. We might have a couple things to say here and there.
We're trying to expand our horizons, get into different mediums of entertainment here.
Yeah, we're trying to change all the genres.
Trying to make this a show.
Yeah, right now iTunes lists us as SEO, nerdy marketing topic.
By the way, iTunes fucking sucks at giving you metrics on anything.
What does it say we have? Nothing?
It doesn't.
It says no one's ever listened
to
to
us?
us?
It doesn't give you anything. It doesn't tell you anything
Oh, but I guarantee that at least a couple of people have listened.
I'm sure.
Well,
the thing that tells you, which we still haven't set up correctly
well, Podbean,
on this one.
Well, Podbean is pretty cool.
Well, that just tells you Podbean.
Yeah, well, Podbean said, remember we got excited about 100.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about 200. Right now we're at 275.
Yeah, but that's just Podbean. There's other things. And like if you look at like our YouTube views for it, or if you look at like, there's a couple of,
let's not get too ahead of ourselves.
SoundCloud.
You're trying to make us sound like we're really popular.
I gotta get us on Spotify. Add us to that too.
Oh, you know what? I tried to look for us on Spotify and didn't find us.
That's because I didn't add us. You can add us. Feel free. Look it up.
Is it a whole process? Is it a handwritten
I don't know
document?
what the process is.
Ugh. Did I tell you about, this is how you know we're really going off topic, but did I tell you back in the day when we were in the band days, when Pandora was just starting off, that I actually submitted our band Kerrigan to Pandora by just emailing them, because back in the day you could just
email them?
They just are like, do you have any band suggestions for us?
Oh, that's
Feel
cool.
free to, and then I like literally found it, and I said, hey, I know that we're not like a huge band, we're not signed to a label, but here's like a link to our EP. We're really up and coming. We're hardworking. We're driven, and we're going to be something really big one day, which is Half-Lie.
I feel like Pandora is always on the edge of like not existing anymore. I don't know how they make any money. Like I got like an ad to. I listen to Pandora because I'm like an old man, and it's been like
I want my Pandora.
It's been figuring out my music taste for like over a decade now, so it knows me pretty well.
Well, Pandora is pretty cool because it in all reality, I'll be honest, introduced me to a lot of music I listen to today. And it's one of those
Spotify
things.
wasn't a thing when I started working at a job and I needed music to listen to. You know, like it didn't exist at the time. It was just Pandora, and there was Groove Shark, which is pretty cool. Groove Shark was cool as shit.
Well, it was, but it got totally freaking annihilated.
Oh, it did.
And unfortunately, the creator killed himself after they got sued into oblivion. And the only way they could settle it, them being so bankrupt, was for them to hand over all the source code that they had built their whole life's work.
That's so sad.
It's so sad.
He should have gone the route of McAfee and just like sold off early, and then moved.
I don't know. I don't really know.
Bang some strippers.
I'm not positive on the narrative, and don't quote me on that whole story. But I'm pretty sure it's pretty accurate. That's exactly what happened.
I don't know this at all. I feel like it's accurate.
You know what Pandora is? Pandora is like the 35-year-old woman you date when you're a freshman in college to give you the confidence to start dating women your own age. And you're like, thank you.
I've never felt that way about anything.
So Pandora's like the old antiquated software that like gets you all the music that you need to be cool, and then you can go listen to Spotify and YouTube playlists.
Yeah, I pretty much only dated women my current age.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
Or younger. I don't think any older woman wants anything to do with me, honestly.
You got to get out there, man.
I'm a child.
You have to go out to more UCF tailgates and hang out with your mom more.
If Blue Martini was still open. I mean, I don't know why I'm saying this. I have a girlfriend, so
get out of here.
I don't do any of this. But I feel like Blue Martini was like where it was at.
Is there a Blue Martini closer than the one off of Millennium area?
That one's gone.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I think the only one. I think
That's
there's
iDrive
near, like
The iDrive one is
near,
awesome, though.
Downtown Disney or something. Like
No, it's the iDrive one. It's in Point Orlando.
Okay, yeah, but the one near Millennia is gone. It's been gone for a while.
I guess now that I think about it, where the heck would it be? What is it now? Fridays? There's already a Fridays there. They just doubled up on Fridays.
It's an
overflow Fridays.
It's 2 Red Robins. There's one on the other side.
Sort of the waiting list is 2 hours. You can go to the Fridays you can see from here. It's right over there. It's across the parking lot.
I feel like I'd rather go to a Chili's than a Fridays, honestly.
Hey, dude, I'm right there with you. I've argued with some people about the hierarchy of chain mediocre restaurants, and you can agree with me, you can disagree, but to me it goes like this. And I'm doing a visual right here with you have the flat hand and you're kind of going back and forth, but
yeah,
the baseline is it's always Fridays. The bottom's Fridays.
Yeah.
Then it goes Applebee's, because Applebee's really is pure crap. But they do.
Crapplebee's.
They will sling you $1 Long Island's and margaritas if you come at the right time.
It's my friend from high school, and then I lived with him in college at UCF, and he worked at the Applebee's there at UCF.
Oh, where was it? Oh, that was off of University.
And this was I was between colleges because I didn't start at UCF. I went to a different one.
What a loser!
Soccer. Yeah,
no, that's cool.
But so I went there to visit him because we were talking about getting a place together. We lived in Pegasus Landing, which is complete garbage.
They're all bad.
Student housing. But I went there to hang out with him and chat about where we're gonna live and kind of look at places and stuff. And he took me. He was like, "You want to get dinner?" I'm like, "Yeah." I was like, "All right." And then he went to the same Applebee's that he worked at to get dinner.
You're like, so you're just going here because you get 50% off, or people,
guess. I was like,
or they're gonna serve you alcohol when you're
Kevin,
19.
You work at this Applebee's. You were just here. Your shift ended 3 hours ago, and you're back at your job.
But I know everyone.
Yeah, it's cool.
Makes me feel better. And then it's so I can go, and then people are like, "We're back already. It's not even your shift." Okay, so are we gonna do some anecdotal stuff for every single time we go through the tier?
I don't know.
Okay.
This is just
so it's
from the hip.
So it's for Fridays, and then it's at Applebee's.
Oh.
And then it's Chili's.
Okay.
And then it's Ruby. Then it's Outback. And then it's
Ruby Tuesdays.
Ruby Tuesdays is making its way towards the top.
I would put Chili's above Ruby Tuesdays.
I don't know.
I have a way more fun at Chili's than I've ever had at Ruby Tuesdays.
I don't know if this is the fun factor.
What about Longhorn? We put Longhorn in this? Technically.
I don't really know where Longhorn is.
I've never seen a Longhorn not next to any of those restaurants. But
they're all in the same vicinity. So, it's you got your Marshalls and TJ Maxx and stuff on the same.
Where I grew up, that it was slow to have progress in general, right? So there weren't
politically, culturally.
Well, that too, but from
technologically
a restaurant standpoint.
We got internet.
I remember they got a Chili's. They didn't get a Chili's until after I left. After I went to college.
Man, those are rough times for you then.
So it was, so we would have to go to this place 30 minutes from there.
Oh God, you had to go to mom and pops?
No. We had to go to anything like that, any type of chain restaurant. So my grandmother loves not Logan's. What's the other? The one I just said,
Texas Roadhouse.
The steak one.
Longhorn.
Yeah, Longhorn. My grandmother loves Longhorn for some
reason. Is it always a celebratory thing to go to Longhorn?
Her birthday, she goes to Longhorn and gets the steak.
You must have her birthday every other month.
Loves it. And we have to go to the Villages, which I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I'll explain.
The only thing I know about the Villages is people blow themselves up trying to make crack or something.
Is the largest
or meth,
old person retirement community in America.
It's,
right? And
it's big. It's on the map.
It's huge. It's ridiculous. What goes on there? It's also the STD capital of America as well.
Because of old people.
Yeah, all those old people get there. They have nothing to do. They got money to spend.
They're just doing it.
Most of them are either they're divorced or they're widowed or whatever, and they're not worried about getting pregnant, and they're just banging out. Old people orgies are happening left and right in the Villages.
That's wild.
They do not care, and
that's where half of all porn comes from.
Probably
50 plus porn.
That's why I was if they ever really make medical marijuana accessible to sell here in Florida, it's the laws are very, very strict. I think they only give out 30 licenses for a state.
Oh, is all they're gonna do?
One of the largest population states in America.
But
I was man, if you set up a thing there for in the Villages for medical marijuana or something, it's a gold mine. That's just you just print money.
You're gonna have to get with John Morgan about that one.
Well, I mean, he's probably already checked it out.
He probably has 15 of the licenses.
Got it going.
Right on.
If there's one thing John Morgan's good at, it's making money. I don't know how he's a lawyer. I don't think he can practice anymore.
I don't think he's practiced for a bit, but he's still quite active. I'm sure he's quite active doing a bunch of stuff.
It's very political now.
I saw him at the Orange Club one time,
Really?
and I was like,
The Citrus Club?
That's what I meant.
Yeah. Okay.
I saw him there. I'm like, that's the guy.
I've seen him in a Hooters before with his shirt unbuttoned. Like
I've heard multiple accounts at Wally's. That's why I'm surprised that Wally's isn't back in operation yet.
Yeah, he owns Wally's.
Oh, he did buy it?
He bought it before they shut down.
So is it back open?
Like he already owned it when he said he was thinking about buying it, so he could like.
Whoa!
Make buzz.
He thought about it, owning it, then he did. I don't know how that timeline works.
No, he bought it and he was like, you guys are just gonna close down, and then I'm gonna make a statement like I'm gonna resurrect it and save it.
Wow.
And but he already had purchased it.
Man, those crust punks are gonna be freaking all about him.
Garbage. It's like. I always talk to people like, I was always going to go, but I never went around to doing it.
Oh, like, God. Do you know the amount of people that were like, oh, man, I'm so upset that Wally's closed down? I'm like, dude, you went about twice a year, and what did you really like about it besides the fact you couldn't get a drink for 8 minutes? They're like, but you made, like, the best drinks.
You could get a drink at 3 in the morning because they were grandfathered in with the liquor laws. And
is that so?
Yeah, so they could still
You could also get it at 7 in the morning.
You could get it anytime you wanted.
That's practically 24 hours.
But I just like that it had a memorial in front of it. Like it had, like people put stuff there, like saying goodbye, and it was like, half drunk in liquor bottles and like flowers and like candles and stuff. Like
that place is like you walk out of there and you're already hungover and you feel like you smoked 10 cigarettes.
I don't really know how they had to just like close it down because they didn't want to do it anymore, not because it wasn't making money. Like there's no way that place didn't make money.
No, it was always busy.
Yeah, it was always packed every time.
I mean, it wasn't a huge place, but it was busy by any standards.
Like they owned it for like 50 years,
so
God. It was like paid off.
You know what should be there instead?
What?
Chili's.
Chili's. Hey, Applebee's.
You know the closest Chili's to us is not that close.
There's one. No, that's an Applebee's.
No, so we're smack in the middle of downtown Orlando right now, and the closest chain restaurant that we have. There are no chains downtown Orlando, unless you consider Wahlburgers one, which it is. Yes, that is a chain.
It's not really the same though.
It is, and that it's okay.
It's a burger chain.
We got a Pita Pit. We have Jimmy John's.
Those are chains.
Yeah, but they're not like the sit down casual
right.
kind of thing. So there's Applebee's off of Michigan, which is a few miles away. I don't know where Ruby Tuesday is. I don't know. We're talking about Chili's. This is so great.
I don't want to know where it is.
Oh, this podcast is going swimmingly.
So I've told you about Club B's before, right?
Yeah, let's check it out sometime.
Let's go to Club B's. So if our listeners don't know what that is, Google image Club B's and you'll see. But apparently, Applebee's after like 11 they turned into like a nightclub. And from the pictures online that I've seen, it looks like it's spring break from 2003.
Little raunchy.
It looks real raunchy, real disgusting.
Which is funny because it's off like Michigan Orange, which is not really
like
the poppin'
chicks
area.
Making out in the photos and like
really because that's in the same
wearing a lot of American Eagle shirts.
What?
And, like spiked hair. It looks.
What else is in that shopping center? Is a Publix.
Chinese buffet we used to go to.
Chinese buffet. Oh, I miss that Chinese buffet.
I don't. My like body doesn't miss it.
My body is so grateful. You know, there's a time where I used to go there like. There were a couple weeks I went there twice in 1 week, and I remember I'd like this is about 7 years ago, I'd be looking at myself in the mirror, and I'm like, I'm getting really, really round and really undefined right now. And I wasn't
becoming very raindrop shaped.
Yeah, I was like, I'm not
tiny at the top, larger on the bottom.
I'm like going to Planet Fitness like twice a week and barely working out. I'm eating Chinese buffet. I'm sitting down in front of a computer, and I remember looking and be like, there's nothing here that's defined really.
I went to the doctor today actually. And
they said, Paul, you're in great shape.
Well, no, they take like
cough on me.
All your stuff every time you go, like your measurements, right? Your weight. And
they're going to talk about poop or something.
No, call you poop. They didn't ask for any samples.
Okay, that kind of sample.
I'm gonna tell you another story in a minute.
Sure.
But I went in there and so I've been like every 4 months basically I go in there, and so I was like looking at like.
Is it 4 months? That is pretty often.
Like last time I was in there, I weighed 181, and this time it was like 195.
Wow.
And the lady was like, "You've been having fun." I was like, "Yeah, I went to Oktoberfest in Europe." So Yeah, I put on a little. At least I hide it well.
What's it to you?
Who cares?
Yeah, I wouldn't have known the difference.
Yeah, that's like the really good thing about me. Is like
Why do you go every 4 months?
to get my prescription filled?
Gotcha.
There you go.
And
So
it's for just becoming a lady. It's just transitioning.
No, it's not that. So talking about drug tests here for samples. So my current job, I had to be drug tested for it, and it was like really stressful because basically once they give you the offer letter, you have 3 days from the time you get the offer letter to go and have a drug test done.
Yeah.
Right. And their HR department, I guess, is like understaffed or like just didn't care. I don't know. But you know, they sent me like the offer letter. I signed it, sent it back, and the offer letter, by the way, had the wrong name at the top of it. It said like "Dear Megan," and I was like, "Hey, you guys might want to have this like
Megan Paul
updated, you know, because like my name isn't Megan. And I feel like this is a legal document. It might be kind of important and stuff."
Yeah, like it would officially not be like an executable like legal document with the absolutely incorrect name.
So I sent it back, and I'm like, you know, I was like, so what are the instructions for me to go get the drug test? So I'm assuming, you know, they had like some paperwork I needed to hand to the people to let them know where to send it.
Or you go to Quest Labs or something?
Of course,
Quest
like
Diagnostics, whatever the heck.
Diagnostics, yeah. So 2 days go by, no response to my email. I call, no one answers.
Do you want me or not?
Leave a message, no return. And then the last day, the day that it's due, they send me the instructions on where to go. And I'm like, oh man, this is stressful. And it's on a Friday, and those places close on 3 at a Friday. And like so I got the instructions, and I was still like my previous job, and I was like, well, see you guys later. And I basically just like left and drove over there.
No time to do anything. You just had to go. I'm dipping out because I got a thing to do.
I got to make this happen, or I'm not gonna have my next job because I don't want this one anymore. So you know, I go there, and it's like really, really intensive. They're like, the lady goes in. She's like, I have to check in the bathroom before you go in there, and then like you can't like you have to put it on the stool afterwards and not touch anything. You can't flush like anything at all. It's like all this like crazy like rules you have to like go through to like actually give.
But can I bring this balloon filled with piss in here?
And I was like, wouldn't it be funny if like like I just handed them like the cup and then it was just like poop.
They're like, that'll work.
I was like, I gave.
We got a test for that.
I couldn't give you that sample. So.
Well, I guess that's how we drew in that part of it.
I wonder if anyone's ever done that. I wonder, like that lady has probably seen that before.
You know, that's had to have happened.
Just walk out,
how could that not have happened
like
before?
A cup of poop, and they're like, "Here's my sample, ma'am. See you later."
Stool sample,
and just walk out.
Well, yeah, she says, "Leave it on the stool," and then they get it mixed up. Oh, stool sample.
Oh,
I can use words. I can use words and put them together as well.
A stool is what I thought. But that was my drug test. That was the first time I've been drug tested. I think ever for a job.
Last time and the only time I got drug tested was when I was a camp counselor for the YMCA, and
I did get drug tested when I worked at the YMCA.
You went to the YMCA too? Which one?
I was
Which
a
year?
lifeguard at the YMCA.
You would be the lifeguard. I was a camp counselor.
Job. I watched.
It was cool.
I watched the swim team from my high school, so I basically slept during it.
That's cool. I had to take care of kids that were from 10 to 14 when I was 18, so I had to lie and say I was 22 because there was no way that they were going to listen to me if they thought I was 4 years older than them.
Kids have no idea how old you are.
Yeah, so I was like, I'm 22, and they're like, oh, cool.
Actually, I think I got drug tested when I did Camp Buggy Creek last year. It's been over a year now. Last February.
Nice. And then for the record, we don't do drugs because they're boring. No,
we just excel at life, and that's enough. You know, SEO is enough excitement and entertainment to take the place of those things.
We'll have a beer here and there. We're especially over the weekend. We're going to be going to a bachelor party, which we can talk about now. Corey thought it was a surprise, but we knew we were going the whole time.
Yeah, actually, where did you find out I was going?
He said that he heard that you may be going.
From who?
One of the guys there. Oh. So what happened was we were on our way to lunch, and he goes, Did my buddies ever like get you in the loop for the group chat? And I said, I don't know. What are you talking about? I said, oh, well, they were asking for your number and for Paul's number, and that's why Paul might be going. I said, no, they never texted me. And he goes, oh, well, are you like free this weekend? I'm like, no, I'm going out of town.
Oh man.
So I was like,
to your bachelor party.
No, I said I had no idea. I mean, like I already made plans for like a long time ago. They're already set. Shoot. And he goes, well, you know, if you ever get bored, come on by. It's going to be within driving distance. So they said that where he's going for the bachelor party, it's going to be within driving distance, and it's going to have a casino. So pretty much you can deduce it's probably Tampa at that point.
Yeah, I think I know exactly where it's at. So.
Yeah, it's all good. They're being pretty funny about organizing it, but it's all good. And for the record, Corey has been on previous podcasts. That was the top one, that top rated, downloaded it. Actually, won an award.
One or two downloads.
It won an Emmy Best Spoken Word Album. Track of all time.
It's like, I don't know if anyone here listening has ever done a podcast, but like,
let's talk about podcasts real quick.
Feel when it's not going well, you know.
Let's impart a little bit of knowledge. You know, we're at the 20-minute mark of a bunch of rambling, and so let's talk about podcasting. So, you know, this is podcast 15. What are our microphones right now?
And I'm sorry that we're rambling, but SEO makes you insane, and this is what's going to happen to you.
You get burnt out.
You know, there's only so much like you know, crap that you can look at link wise and all that shit.
We're in a high quality. We're in a Full Sail studio right now, naked. I am. And Paul's in a different room. He can't see me.
Yeah,
and
I can see you.
It's weird. Okay, I won't cover it. We'll cover it now. You know, we're using a Bose Infurion XX 2.0 $8,000
exactly
speakers.
What we're really using.
We're sitting in my condo downtown Orlando, and it's on my laptop. We're using Audacity because that's some pro shit.
Cheap.
And then we're using Yetis. I have a Yeti Snowball.
Well, my Yeti's better than your Yeti.
Fine.
It is.
Fine.
Just so you know,
I can't tell. I'm not an audiophile. I can't tell the difference.
Like the legit one, the one that you think of when you think of a Yeti mic. It's this one.
I have the one I'm holding. I'm holding the Snowball. I'm literally holding my hand all the time.
You buy it from like one of those like, you know, vendors. That's,
I thought you were just gonna say vending machines.
Vending machines, sure. One of those like crappy vendors at like an outdoor, you know, like swap meet or something like that.
Fine.
You know, like Thailand.
The Canal Street in
Thailand.
New Orleans, Canal Street,
yeah,
New York,
exactly
any Canal Street. Well, you know, the price difference is probably about $30.
All right, so we'll talk about a little bit of seriousness. Not really, but we'll just tell you how to start a podcast.
It's going to devolve so quickly.
Yeah. So this is the second time I've started a podcast. The first one was for a job.
I don't even know your first. You weren't speaking on it, but you were helping organize it, produce it, edit it.
I was basically like the showrunner for it. So I came up with like the topic ideas. I like kept track of when they had to take breaks. We had like commercial breaks and legit commercials that we made for it. We had like a really good voiceover guy, and there was like the main guy, and then we had like a guy that was like. He was actually really the host, but like it was named after like the main guy, right? But he was like there to help like continue the story and like have everything flow well, unlike what I'm doing right now as I'm talking. But
talking low too.
The dude that did that, he was amazing. His name was Alan, and he went to Princeton. And when he was like, he was like in his 50s, but he was the coolest guy I've ever met in my life. And when he was in college for fun, he and his friend made a radio show just so they could interview like celebrities, and they like would literally go out to LA and like interview celebrities, and like no one knew who they were. They were just doing it, and like
but all they interviewed is Pauly Shore like 8 times.
No, they interviewed Bill Murray.
Oh.
They went to the Playboy Mansion and interviewed Hugh Hefner. This is like in the 80s. He interviewed like all kinds of like famous people for like this show, and people just would do it. They would say yes. Just because they were like, hey, we're college students at Princeton, we have the show, do you mind like talking to us? And they would be like really accommodating to it.
Well, on a side note, evidently for a lot of agencies, this goes back to, man, we're going to be too serious, don't worry, we'll talk about Chili's real quick, like very soon. But when I was at the agency mastermind a few weeks ago, one of the things that half the agencies there were pushing the most were like podcasting, and then also inviting people to come on a podcast, because they're saying along the lines of like, you know, if you do like a podcast, you can invite someone on, you can identify all their problems, talk about it for a while, and then afterwards you can follow up with them and be like, hey, so do you need help with those problems you addressed in the podcast? Actually, is a good form of lead generation in the shortest of terms.
Honestly, I think it's like the best form of link building.
Because, you can get links from all sorts of genuine places.
Interview some like people that you have no business interviewing, like really legit,
like the
serious
president of the United States of Micronesia.
Yeah, exactly. We could probably get that guy in here, you know, if we wanted to.
That guy. It's a lady. God, check your privilege, dude.
I didn't mean. I meant, it was ambiguous.
It's actually,
hey, buddy.
It's
when I say buddy, I don't mean it's a guy or a girl. Anyone can be
it's
your buddy.
actually a really.
I'm not your buddy.
It's a really sweet cat with a bell necklace.
It's a cat.
No one knows who it is. Actually, no one's ever found out.
I don't know. I don't care.
It's autonomous. It's cool. It actually doesn't exist. It's on Earth. Actually, let's go back.
It's on the other side of the flat Earth.
I love all the people that talk about flat Earth, and then like a few months later, they all come out one by one. They're just like, you know what? I apologize that I haven't said that I actually believed in it, because there are a lot of people. I'm a role model for a lot of people, and I can see how that could harm.
I have the best idea for a reality show. We get flat earthers, and we send them out and say, hey, we pay for it. You find us the edge of the earth, buddy, and you report back. We're gonna follow you. We're gonna find it. Let us know.
Oh no, how about this one? So it's like a bunch of flat earthers that still to this day say that they are, right? And there's like maybe 5, and it's like Survivor. It's like, how long can they go before they're like, I still am, when they're like fact shamed, and they're shamed as people, and they're put on the spot, and they're like toted around to like Princeton and Yale and MIT, and they're proving it to them, and just see how long they can last.
It's like, I know people that don't believe in that. They don't believe the Earth is round, and they don't believe that like we can go to outer space, right? Like, I have one friend, and I love this friend so much.
It's not like the same person that doesn't believe in dinosaurs, because I
love
love that one.
Not that girl.
Because I told you that girl I dated earlier in the year
didn't believe in
dinosaurs. And I was like, that is going to be tricky for me.
It's not tricky for me. It's pretty straightforward for me at that point. I'm just like, well, I'll see you later. So how can you not believe in that? Like
they're there.
Yes. Like, what are those bones? What are they? And the girl that I know that doesn't, she's like, maybe they're just elephant bones. How do they go together?
Oh, they're configured.
Because they're together when they find them.
They're just configured like. They're like, man, they really know how to configure those elephant bones about like 1,400 different ways.
It's so insulting to people that like find those for a living. Like, it's so ridiculous.
When they're in remote areas of like freaking Siberia and Africa, and they dig them up, and it's like their life's work, and they transport them, and they carbon date them, and it's proven to be millions and hundreds of millions of years old, and they erect them, they put it together, and they show them off, and then someone goes, that's an elephant. That's an elephant.
It really isn't an elephant.
Your life's
we know
work,
exactly what those look like.
Your life's work is suspect because you took some wolf bones and a couple tiger bones, and you took one whale bone, and it's a giant elephant. Otherwise,
I feel like conspiracies, and this is coming from someone that has like a lot of friends that work in the military, right? Like, one of my best friends from college is a psychiatrist in the Army.
Oh,
right?
wow, okay.
And you always see like conspiracy theories, like, it's the deep state, like all of this stuff, right? But this is how you know if a conspiracy theory is like true or not. It's not like people coming together to make some master plan like work. It's like when they're trying to cover up their own incompetence and they get people to like collude on that. That's the real conspiracy theories that exist. It's never like the opposite. Like, they're not. If you ever worked with like the military or like know like a lot of people in there, like they're not like strong on like getting shit done very well, or like being interconnected and like working together as like a team. Like, just look at who like makes up the military for the most part. It's like a lot of people that like that's like their option, right? Like out of college, like they're going.
I see where
like
you're
out of
at.
high school. Like, it's like the option that they have to have because they don't have like another option.
It seems like it happens sometimes. Obviously it depends case by case. The only conspiracy theory that I know is true is I got Alexa right behind me, and that girl is listening all the time.
Oh, absolutely.
She's listening to everything.
Oh, she's listening right now.
See? Yo, pipe down.
Don't listen to us. Turn it off.
There was
listening.
Oh man, I gotta tell you something ridiculous, and I'm like, I was not dreaming, and I told this to Chase, and Chase was like, it was a dream, and it wasn't. So there was one night, and I was in bed, creeping past about midnight, and just having a lot of trouble going to sleep, and it's about 12:30. Any minute I'm about to pass out. All of a sudden, the A word, AA, wakes up out of nowhere. The ring around it starts spinning, and there's no vocalization. There's nothing to prompt it. Spinning, and she's sending out these waves RFID waves. No, I don't know. She sent out something, and I swear to God, it was messing with my TV.
No way.
I swear, my TV started clicking.
That's so weird.
Because there's this noise my TV makes when it's turned off and off, and it was going.
Well,
and I know that Alexa was trying to like
connect to it,
do something with my TV out of nowhere.
Dude, your TV is listening to you too.
Oh my God, where does it end?
It definitely is. They disclose that it's listening to you.
What is it listening to?
What you're talking about, and it sends if it's connected to the internet, which it is, it sends that data back to.
Well, how come the FBI, CIA, the DEA has been all swept in here and been like, "We need you. You are obviously the greatest SEO to ever live."
I don't know. Must be a conspiracy.
Because literally all I talk about within these walls and this ceiling and these floors and everything in between is SEO and how to get it done.
I really like the moon conspiracy one. Like,
well, how's that one work?
It's like the people that
that didn't land
on the moon. And so, like,
is it because of Stanley Kubrick and The Shining?
I think most of the people don't even know about that connection to it.
I thought that was
that's
cool.
The strongest connection
I thought that was
think about. But
it's humorous.
No, like people, they're like, I can understand that maybe the footage that we first saw, maybe that isn't really of the moon. Maybe they were like, hey, if shit blows up on the moon, we don't want to like send that out on live television, right? So like that could be entirely conceivable. But to think that like we didn't actually go to the moon and then we faked it like 8 more times like after that. And like no one's ever saying like Elon Musk's rocket company is fake. They're not going into space. They're never like, oh, it's all a charade. It's all just a conspiracy. Like no one's ever saying that.
I know we need better conspiracies.
Like China went to the moon like a couple years ago, and no one was like, oh, they faked it. like,
Well, did they land on the moon? Because it's my understanding. Well, like not a person though.
No, they landed like a.
Because something. Yeah, like a probe or anal probe or a little robot or like a Zumba.
What I really want to see is
clean that place up.
Is like an argument between like a flat earther and like a hollow earther. That's like the argument I want to see happen.
I don't mind. I don't mind the hollow Earth. Well, you can't have hollow Earth without flat Earth. So they should argue.
That's right. So like you can't have, if it's flat, it can't be hollow. So it has to be one or the other.
Oh, shoot. So how do we get that going?
I want to have those two people
one URL,
on a podcast.
Meetup.com. Actually, we need to start getting guests on here.
Maybe like, you can put that in your Tinder profile. And then like...
That thing's long gone.
Flat earther, only looking for hollow earther.
Oh, that...
Just see.
All those dating apps are long deleted. That was... an utter waste of time and a distraction.
What? I thought you were still using. What?
No, nope.
Long ago. It was like 2 weeks ago you deleted it?
Definitely not. Way longer.
Like 3 weeks?
No, like at least a few months.
What? I don't believe you.
Well, you don't have to. That's what conspiracies are for.
Ooh.
Gotcha. So it's the Halloween month.
Oh yeah. All right. So going back a little bit to podcasting.
Okay, because I say Halloween month and they're like, wait, let's not talk about that crap. That actually rings a bell. Podcast.
This is actually one of my favorite holidays.
It is my favorite holiday,
but I feel like it doesn't get the recognition.
Well, the thing is that I think people really like it because they're like, oh, it's like fall's on the way. You got PSLs, every day. I get to put it on my bootsies. I get to like play with pumpkins and then like maybe get scared a little bit. I like it because I'm obsessed with horror and I watch horror movies and I've always watched horror movies and I like scary. Like the scariest shit you could possibly.
That's weird about you, Ryan. I do not have an obsession with horror movies. I actually do not like horror.
I got my signed Reanimator right there.
I've seen it.
I got my Evil Dead 2.
Yeah, I'm not a
over
fan.
There. That's an homage to Day of the Dead.
I like a good suspense thriller.
See, I don't like suspense thriller. I like horror.
I would say, like The Thing.
Oh, I love The Thing.
The remake of the remake. So the third remake.
Ooh.
Was on this morning.
That's god awful.
And like I was just watching it as I was getting ready for work, and
I forgot that even existed.
Yeah, Jen was watching it.
That's technically a prequel.
So Jen was watching it, and I was explaining to her. I was like, the first one was really good.
Well, the first one was like in the 50s or 60s. Sorry,
the remake of the first.
The 80s with
the one with Kurt Russell.
Kurt Russell was fantastic, and Keith David.
And so I don't really think The Thing is a horror movie.
It's not.
I'd say it's like a suspenseful sci-fi movie with a little bit of gore, but I wouldn't put it in like the category of a horror movie.
Well, there's
even though John Carpenter did direct it.
I would say that it's primarily almost like a sci-fi. And
It's
but it is hard because there's so much unknown going on. It's like sci-fi suspense horror.
Yeah, it's
thriller.
very suspenseful. So to me,
because then you have
that's
to define
the level of horror.
You have to define what Alien is then too. That's more that's more suspenseful than The Thing. The Thing is more horror than it's.
Yeah, I would say that Alien is a sci-fi suspense.
So this is what I typically explain to people, like what my take on horror versus suspense is. So suspense is typically like the fear of something that like more or less what it is, and you know that it's something. It's something like tangible of a mortal plane. Mm-hmm. And then horror is more, it's fear of something that's completely unknown. You don't even know what dimension it can possibly comes from. You don't even know how to fight it or protect yourself from it. So like that's the difference. Like suspense, if you locked yourself in a room for the rest of your life, you know that thing could never get you. But in horror, you don't even know what would happen. Like that's like the difference. It's a different like interdimensional of this world. What is it? What is it not? I don't even know what to do about it. Those are kind of the differences.
Yeah.
I'm glad that you find that so riveting. But I do love The Thing. They're playing at the Enzian. Are you going to go to see it there?
Probably not.
Are you going to go to the Enzian to see it?
Yeah, they're doing a bunch of stuff across the street.
I know.
Doing throwback.
They're doing it like every Sunday and Wednesday.
Yeah, that's cool.
They just did the original Halloween.
The Enzian doesn't have like a full list yet of what they're doing this month.
I thought they did.
In the week. Yeah, there's a bunch of stuff. That is like what I like the most about it. Is that they play like cool stuff like that from time to time.
You're petering out.
I'm not petering out. I'm petering back in.
No, you're done.
This is me. I'm doing it. That's what we're talking about. Let's get back on topic.
I went to Halloween Horror Nights. It was amazing.
Yeah. So, what I don't like is people that don't want to celebrate Halloween because of like religious reasons. Do you know what I mean?
I don't know anyone that doesn't.
Well, I grew up in a family that like my mom was like big into the church, and she like really didn't like Halloween because of its like the connotation of like witches and witchcraft and like that stuff.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I had to like go to like hallelujah parties, which were.
Did you have a hell house where they go through? You go through and you have to learn more about the why you don't do unprotected sex, underage sex, why you don't do drugs, don't drink and drive. You're familiar with hell houses?
Yeah, I am. I've seen them, been to them before. Halloween parties were just like Halloween parties, but you had to come dressed as like a biblical themed character.
That's lame.
So, and they were like at the church. And I always thought that was just like kind of silly because I think we can, tell the difference here.
Did you come dressed as Goliath?
I was David from David and Goliath.
Oh, so it's the opposite.
Yeah, I wasn't like a big dude at like 11.
Oh, did you have a slingshot?
I did. Not a slingshot. I had like a
Slinger.
Yeah.
Slingling.
It was a legit costume, man.
I'm sure it was.
What was I have to get a costume for this year though, and I don't know what I'm gonna get.
You know what's like really popular is doing the couples one with the moth and the lamp. That's become real popular.
Yeah, I know. Just
I hate it. I can't stand it.
Isn't there like?
But you should just do it anyway.
Like that meme about it.
Yeah, you'd be a good moth.
No, I'm not doing that. What's like the best costume that you've ever had?
That I did?
Yeah.
Oh crap! I don't know. Probably like dressed up as Bobby Flay or something.
That's pretty lazy.
Guy Fieri.
I have like two that I really like.
Was it just like super pun and clever?
No.
Very trendy.
This was about
timely.
4 years ago. My friends and I, all of us, we dressed as Wet Hot American Summer, like the cast from that.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I was the chef from it. And
I
was like, as I was walking down downtown Orlando before like I even went to the party, like everyone like immediately recognized it. They're like, "Oh, it's the chef!" And I was like, "All right, I love it."
I think actually the best costume I had. It took about 6 of us, and we dressed up as all the skins you could be in Counter-Strike. Mm-hmm. So we had 3 people dressed up as counter-terrorists and 3 dressed up as terrorists, and we were at this party, and all we were doing the whole time were trying to kill each other, just around and just like making a mess and running around and bumping into people.
Funny. Yeah,
and we're just like hiding behind couches and hiding behind doors. And we're like affirmative, tango down, like that kind of crap, like the whole time.
That's not bad.
Yeah, it was fun. That was about hot 13 years ago, though.
And then when I was a senior in high school, I was Gumby. And this was before like the days of Amazon. Like you couldn't order like a costume and have it shipped to your house, right?
Well, you could do some bogus
People were
website that would steal your credit
People
card.
were still on like dial-up at this point, like they weren't
Yeah.
quite to like high speed.
You could do an eBay and you could lose the auction.
And there wasn't like any Party Cities or anything. Like I don't even know there wasn't even like Spirit yet. Spirit like wasn't a thing.
Yeah, I guess it was like,
even if it was a thing, I don't think you can go.
Didn't you just go to like Party City or something?
There wasn't one around. I told you we know had Chili's.
If you don't have a Chili's, you basically don't have anything.
I had to make my costume. I had to go to like Home Depot and buy foam.
Oh god.
And like sew it together, and like it took forever to paint, and then full
You passed out from the paint fumes a couple times.
all that stuff. Painted my face green, lips yet, like the whole thing, and then drove over to this party, and it was like me. I was like driving the car, and then my friend next to me was Dr. Evil, and then the person behind me was the Pope, and we like got pulled over for something on the way there, and I was like, "Hello, officer." And
like you can't.
It was like a joke.
You can't drive with foam hands, sir.
It was like Gumby, Dr. Evil, and the Pope. We're all in a Camry. And this is what happened. But it was a pretty solid costume. It didn't survive the night, though. It was very fragile.
I have to figure out what to do this year because I'm going to be in Austin. I'll be in Austin for Halloween, and I'm not going to be packing a costume in my bag.
You should just be like a stereotypical Texas person for it. Just like really try to offend
It sounds
people.
horrible. We'll just have like cowboy boots and like a 10-gallon hat and like handlebar mustache.
When I was in
Spurs.
in Paris, I wanted to buy like a beret,
Ball
and
tie.
like a striped shirt, and then like just shave just the mustache, and then like just walk around and be like a baguette.
Oh my god, that's awful.
Really like awful and disgustingly like stereotypes. Like,
I'm not really sure on it. I mean, if you guys have gotten this far into the podcast for some reason, feel free to submit like our suggestions.
I don't know how you're going to submit it because we don't have any way to get that.
Well, yeah,
info.
they have your phone number.
You don't have my phone number.
Yeah, you
It's
change
not
it
my
twice.
number.
I keep on giving it to them.
Wait,
They can email you.
I guess you can leave us a message on the Podbean site for it. That's really
send us a
exciting we have
message.
going on.
Like I will literally take whatever the first suggestion is and strongly
Do it.
consider it.
I'll do it.
No, I'm not going to just do anything.
Yeah.
I'll be a gigantic poop emoji.
Email us at nothing because we don't have an email for this either.
Yeah, we do. You
I'm
keep on dropping
I'm not giving out
your utensil. Oh crap! The freaking football game started.
Oh, which one?
It's 8:40. The Giants Eagles.
TCU or Giants Eagles?
No.
The only team I watch is the defending national champions UCF,
Oh, Eagles are up 7-3.
who I'm kind of worried about on Saturday playing University of Memphis.
Oh wow! Alshon Jeffrey got a 13-yard touchdown already.
Mm.
Saquon Barkley had 2 carries for 50 yards. Wow. This is good. So we do a lot of fantasy. One of my teams is great. One of them is terrible. UCF is the greatest team of all time. Amen.
I've been like really, really pissed off by all like the news around it, like the radio hosts and like the college football live.
Well, so what's the deal? So ESPN owns the SEC network, and the SEC network is all they care about.
Own our media rights deal too.
All they care about is pushing the SEC agenda when they have 8 of the top 25 teams.
Right,
obviously,
so I have Sirius Satellite Radio, and I listen to like ESPNU on the radio most days.
Okay.
And it's just like here's what I hate about
Everything.
the announcers, particularly, right? It's like they always say like the same thing, right? And it's like, well, their strength of schedule is weak. And
That's what I say.
We're sorry, like this is the system. The system isn't fair. But none of them are like saying like, stop. This system is stupid. Like
The
why are we
system
doing
is
it?
stupid.
It's like we are the people that
Why?
have the power to do
Why
it.
are they submitting to the system? It's just a fabricated piece of crap in the first
I know,
place.
they're
It's
just
like
going along with
there
it.
is no like legally mandated like construct that has to be followed, or else people are gonna die.
I don't
It's just like
understand why
change the
people
damn
are,
system.
Are so like hung up on this system and not changing it, considering it's so new, right? And it's stupid. It's an invitational, what it is. It's not a playoff. And they always say like, oh well, if you let more teams in, then you lose like the importance of the regular season. And to which I say is bullcrap. All right. First of all, it's complete.
I don't know if you have to have 16.
Anyways.
I mean,
like
every narrative, any angle you look at
3/4
it,
of the
doesn't make
teams
sense.
play the first down, and it doesn't matter. Do you know what I mean? Like, most of those teams aren't going to be winning a national championship. Purdue ain't going to be winning a national championship. Indiana isn't. Northwestern's not going to win a national championship. Like, look at all the teams out there. There's no way they're going to win a national championship.
I don't understand that narrative whatsoever because all you have to do is look at like March Madness. It's like, well, if we let in the 64 teams, isn't that going to belittle everything? It's like, not really. People freaking love March Madness. What's the difference?
Because they love the Cinderella story, right?
Yeah, it's sweet.
And it's American to like Cinderellas, I feel like. Because we are the ultimate Cinderella.
Where did Cinderella originate? What country is that story from?
It's French.
I think it's probably from Alabama.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think so, buddy. No way.
Alabama.
They hate Cinderellas there. But like, that's the good thing about the tournament is like, any given, like this last one, I think one of the teams that made it to the Final Four was like Loyola something, or like some like unheard of Catholic school that like hadn't been, you know.
You remember Florida Gulf Coast? I mean, like the top,
like, super exciting.
like 16.
I watched Florida Gulf Coast play, and I've never watched them outside of that game.
I've always heard their school gives out freaking happy faces for their.
It's like, in football though, like people are so offended by the idea of the Cinderella. It's like it's distasteful to them. Like they don't even want to talk about it.
It's like sacrilegious. It's like the top 4 should always be Bama, OSU, Notre Dame, Clemson, Georgia. If there's anyone else, like what the hell is happening? Why the hell would you want anyone else in there?
And it just is like boring. Like I don't want to watch Alabama and Clemson play in the playoff again.
Every year, over and over and over again.
Yeah, and so what I'm hoping, I actually hope that we get left out, and I hope that Notre Dame goes undefeated and they get in, and then Georgia and Alabama get in, and then one other conference gets in, and then there's only 2 conferences in the entire playoff.
Yeah, it's cool.
They're like, what the fuck?
Yeah, so much for Power 5. Your Pac-12.
I was really hoping that
Pac-12 doesn't do anything ever.
I was really hoping that Oklahoma would go undefeated. Notre Dame would go undefeated.
They look bad. I watched that Texas game. They look bad though.
Yeah, their defense or their offense looks great. But
their defense is terrible. Can you believe how bad it is?
I hope that Colorado goes undefeated, and I hope that like NC State goes undefeated and beats Clemson. And then like, what do?
Clemson came close already to losing to.
I know they
Syracuse
could have lost to Syracuse. Yeah, but like, what do you do then? And then like between Ohio State and then like one loss Georgia and then undefeated Alabama and then undefeated UCF, undefeated Notre Dame, and then like West Virginia could go undefeated, and then you have them. And you know they don't want West Virginia in there because they're not going to bring the ratings, right? They don't want that team.
Because West Virginia is like
they don't want Colorado.
The western part of
Virginia. They don't want NC State. It's like the same reason they didn't want Wisconsin last year.
It's a terrible narrative. It's all been perpetuated by money, of course, and it's just pathetic. And there's no integrity to the game. And then these freaking ratings. I mean, UCF. I mean, God, if it was 10 years ago, we'd be ranked 2. And it's like crap like that.
And I feel like if you're like a newscaster or like whatever talking head, you have like a responsibility, not just like because the public listens to you, but like as a fucking American to call out like bullshit, like scam systems like that. Like they should be the ones like saying it, like screaming it from the mountaintop. Like this is fucking stupid. Like every other sport figures out how to do a playoff and it's like fair and no one whines at the end of it. And it's totally fine. Like, why can't college football do that? I'm like,
it's really not that hard to figure out.
It's like super easy. Like,
I mean, it's true. Like the biggest thing about it is like you have like this fabricated piece of crap that hasn't existed for more than 5 years, and then you have everyone falling in line and being like, "Well, that's the system," and it's like, no, dude, you obviously
we just made it.
Like you didn't figure it out yet.
Besides the system,
like, and why is everyone like submitting to it like so easily? It's just like there's obviously a bunch of. Like, there's all a bunch of crap.
And the idea of like a bunch of geriatric old fucks sitting in a room determining who they think should be ranked, which has very, very little bearing on like anything at all. Like, it's like, oh, I felt like they were the best team. You know what I mean? Like, I was like Mississippi State last year had like 3 losses.
Well, that's why it sucks because you had like all these people, like these geniuses from freaking like Harvey Mudd and freaking MIT. They're spending like all this time putting together these extremely complicated algorithms that obviously people respected for a while, and then they trash them to get to this like new like college football playoff. That's just a bunch of dudes that are like, I think this.
Not to mention all of them have ties to like major conferences. They're either the AD at a school at a major conference, or they were a coach at that school in a major conference. Like none of them are like they're looking out for the little guy. It's all made up of people that have interests to protect.
Remember, like earlier in the season, how like I don't know what they were doing, the Coaches Bowl or something, and then like FSU got annihilated, or someone, and then one of the people like voted on the Coaches Bowl voted for like FSU or
Well,
someone.
that was the AP poll, and
to
they
like
still voted them after
to still
their
be
loss
like
to Syracuse to be in the top 25.
Yeah, they voted.
And
like
at least someone called it. Like they were like, this person's they should be stripped of it.
You
they
should be stripped.
allowed to vote.
Yeah, because like,
and I agree
because it wasn't based off of any fact or logic.
I don't think there should be polls in general. Like, I don't think we need polls.
I like the polls, but
I think they're stupid.
But I like when they're
subjective.
but I like when they're algorithms.
Like,
that's the whole reason we have
okay.
algorithms.
Here's what the BCS got right, and it was like they used computer rankings, which figured out the rankings, right? And then they put the number 1 versus number 2. All you got to do, keep the same thing, keep the same formula, but just take the top 8 and then put them in a playoff. And that way you don't have any of like the BS crap of like people being subjective, and like the numbers are what they are. And at the end of it, there you go, you're in.
All I know is like this whole thing is suspect, and it's all a fabricated piece of garbage based off of nothing that's worth anything. When 2 years ago, you have Nick Saban say,
you have to win.
You have to win your conference championship to get in, and then the next year goes, well, we played really well, and then they threw him in.
Nick Saban is the biggest piece of shit in all of college football, probably in all sports, I would say.
I've never seen someone so miserable at winning in my life.
He's the most miserable person I've ever seen.
Well, you just never seen him smile. Have you ever seen The Blind Side? He's in there and he goes, "I'd like to offer you a scholarship."
It's the most awkward thing I've ever seen in my life.
And he tried to make a smile, but then he started to smile, but then his eyes started bleeding
because it hasn't moved in that position forever.
And then he's like, and then he had a seizure.
But no, so the other thing that like pisses me off too is, you know, when they're talking about the group of 5, they're like, a group of 5 team is just never going to get in. That's just the way the system is. So what they really should do is just break off and make their own playoff. You know, and it's like, no, it's not on them to fix the system, to make their own. You should just fix the system so they can play in it.
We're all FBS. We're all inclusive.
Like, why are we trying to do that?
I don't want
make it so it works. It's so fucking hard.
Some bizarre constellation thing with the MAC.
Yeah,
and with the Sun Belt.
Like, no, I think that my school should be able to play for the big boys.
Do I want Toledo? Do I want to win the spin-off championship against Miami, Ohio? Thank you.
I can tell you what though, if UCF goes undefeated again, and that's still a big if.
28 games in a row. 28 games in a row.
Like,
wait,
there will be a lot of public outcry from that, but also I think like there'll be some sort of like government involvement after that. Like I think that'll be a catalyst for like Congress
I don't think that's possible.
They got involved last time.
With what?
That's partially why we have like the playoff, is because the senator from Utah, Warren Hatch, who I hate, sued the
not like federal government.
No, the federal government. They sued.
Well, it's the state government.
They sued the BCS.
Oh, good.
Yeah, well, he's in the Senate, which is a part of federal government. So,
this is not a political podcast.
Saying, it's not a political podcast. He's a part of the federal government. He's a senator, so he's representing a state in the federal government.
All right, I don't care.
Yeah, but they brought like legal actions against them, and then like Utah got invited into the Pac-12, and then he dropped the suit.
The Utes?
The Utes.
That's stupid.
As soon as they got like their meal ticket, he like stopped caring. Basically.
Well, typical political story. That's why we're not talking about it.
But I think there'll be such negative press like around it. Like they should just put them in, just to like. It's a win-win situation.
Well, yeah, that's what we're talking about. It's a win-win because if they do it, you prove a point either way. Like they were supposed to be there in the first place. Cool, it's proven. And like they lose, cool, they shouldn't have been there first place. Then you prove it.
People want to see UCF play Alabama so bad right now.
People love it.
Like the general like football watching population wants to see that game because we've trolled them so much over this like summer, like flying that banner. Congrats on the split national championship during their like.
Do we have to go? Citrus Bowl. We can still go to the Bama LSU game in Baton Rouge and wear like co-national championship shirts, and then like go up to Alabama people and be like, "Yo, what's up, co-national champs?"
We don't have co-national champ shirts. We have national champ shirts.
But we would wear those specially made for that game. Then it would show like a night with
it's the people's champion.
Yeah. That's what I call one of their people. Well, I don't know the representation of the embodiment and the personification of the Crimson Tide.
Right.
And they'd be shaking hands.
Well, I hope you guys enjoyed us covering a podcast. We actually didn't cover shit.
I think that
about
we
it.
talked about 5 minutes what goes into a podcast, and we did a lot of.
This is therapeutic for us, guys.
This,
right?
yeah,
We like it.
we needed to vent a little bit. It was a lot. It was a long one.
You know, life's short. You know, life's a garden. Dig it. You know, it's a quote from Joe Dirt. Just, you know.
Did you ever see the second one?
No.
I think I watched the first 10 minutes and turned it off.
Yeah, I feel like the story was good.
I mean, it probably started off when he was going like.
Can you go back in time?
No, he probably went like this. Dang! And I was like, great, this is perfect.
I actually really like Joe Dirt. Like,
The original one's good.
I know it just fit in. You know, it was stupid, but like it just fit in at the time. It's like the Water Boy. I really like the Water Boy, even though it's really stupid. You know, like
Bubble Boucher.
just
You come here, boy.
at that time in life, like it just worked. Like Dumb and Dumber now wouldn't work. You couldn't like have Dumb and Dumber right now.
I saw the newer one and it was not that great.
It was not
Dumb
good.
and Dumber.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah, it was okay. It's just
it
weird
was bad.
seeing like Jeff Daniels and Jim Carrey like y'all look pretty old and you're still doing.
Looked real old.
But they were so funny. They're still funny though. They were still freaking funny.
I actually thought the one that was the prequel had some funny moments to it.
I don't think I
Did you
saw
ever
the whole
see
thing.
that?
No, I'll have to rent it. I'll rent it on
I wouldn't
DirecTV.
bother.
Oh no.
Well, anyways, so thanks for listening to us, guys. I'm sorry this is like literally the worst SEO podcast that's ever been made because it's not about SEO at all.
You know, people want to know a little bit about the people behind the podcast so they can relate,
The man
and they
behind
feel
the curtain.
then they can feel more comfortable asking us questions for once and actually calling your phone again. Because it started once and then they feel uncomfortable.
We're gonna have a guest on next week.
We've said like 5 in a row.
every week we say we're gonna have a guest.
Actually, we had a guest here the whole time. We just were so like in
Alexa?
sync. Yeah, no, we were in sync the whole time. They didn't even get a chance to talk. No, I get to talk.
Shut up.
Yeah, shut up.
Anyways, well, thanks for listening, guys. This is
No, really, thank
no,
you.
really, thank you. Hopefully, we'll have a couple of really good ones for you over the next couple of weeks that are going to be useful in your SEO lives and journeys.
Watch this one. Like for some reason they're like, this gets 100 downloads, and it's like, why is this the most popular?
If this
one?
gets 100 downloads, we're just doing this.
I know.
Or
Or like that, Paul and Ryan, they just really know how to
crush
just.
it.
They just talk about whatever. It's
They
just
don't
the best.
stutter or have mistakes when they're talking at all.
They're not trying to sound smart. They sound stupid, and it's funny.
Fuck it. Anyways, well, thanks for listening, guys. I'm Paul Warren,
And I'm Ryan Klein.
and this has been another episode
A happy sode.
of SEO is Dead and Other Lives.
Peace. Almost an hour long too. Thanks.
Bye.
Bye guys.